Today we're going to be starting a new siman Tafrei Shayin Ches. Probably, I would argue, one of the least applicable simanim in all of Hilchos Chanukah. It's very short. The halacha is if a person can't afford multiple items, what does he go for? All right. So Misha Ein Yadom Masegis Lukois near Chanukah v'ner Shabbos Yikna Shel Shabbos below. This is talking about a fellow over here. And he can't afford the nair, the candles for Chanukah, the oil for Chanukah. Oh, by the way, today's learning is in should be a refuah shlema. There's a chus of the learning should be a refuah shlema for Yehonasan, Eitan ben Basheva Bracha. Okay, Mishain Yadum Asegis listen on Chanukah. Vener Shel Shabbos, Yikna Shel Shabbos, below Shel Hanukkah. So this is talking about over here someone who cannot afford to acquire the Ner Hanukkah and the Ner Shabbos. So now he should purchase the Ner for Shabbos. That's what he should purchase, Ner for Shabbos. So in other words, Shabbos comes first. Torah doesn't explain why. Shabbos comes first, which is ironic because we're learning Hilchos Chanukah. You would think Hilchos Chanukah is the best. But anyway, Shabbos comes first. Below Shel Chanukah, not Chanukah. Now, Yeshlo Shel Shabbos, being Yodam Asegis looking at near Shel Chanukah. Let's say a person has the Ner of Shabbos, but he can't afford the Ner for Chanukah and Yayin for Kiddush. Yayin the Kiddush Hayom. So what comes first? Yikraneiros below Yayin. So now you purchase the Neros for Chanukah and then the Yayin. So now we have a hierarchy. All right, we're just going to put it over here. Ner Shabbos. That's number one. All right, we're gonna number. That's number one. Yeah, messed up. Okay, it's Ner Shabbos. What? For numbers? Nah, I like doing it like this. Okay, number two is then you have Ner Chanukah. All right, Ner Chanukah. And number three, we're gonna have Kiddush. All right, and we're gonna see this list ain't done. All right, fine. Now comes along the Beis Yosef, and he says, "Kol." Is this Beis Yosef on the left? Right? Yeah. He says, "Kol ze simin pashut." This entire simin is obvious. Parak ba malikin. It's in the Gemara and ba malikin chav gimel over there. What is the Gemara over there say? So. Open up shop over there. Got the Gemara on the screen. It's Gemara in Shabbos Chav Gimel Amud Beis. Gemara says like this: Amar Rava, Pshita li ner Beisov and ner Chanukah ner Beisov. The Rava says it's obvious to me. If a person has ner for his house and a ner for Chanukah, the ner for his house is better. Mishum Shalom Beisov, because of Shalom Bayis. In other words, it's talking about a fellow. He can't afford both Ner Shabbos and Ner Chanukah. So comes along Rava in the Gemara and says, you know why the Ner Shabbos comes first? Because it's Shalom Bayis. Who's he talking about over here? Look at Rashi over here. Right over here. Get the double highlight. Ner Beiso, Ner Chanukah. Ner Beiso b'Shabbos. Talking about Ner Beiso means the Ner for his house talking about on Shabbos. Vuani. Guy's poor over here. Right? He doesn't have enough money to purchase oil for both the Chanukah and the Shabbos oil that's needed. So what should he do? Says the Gemara, he should purchase for Shabbos first. Why Shalom Bayis? Why is that Shalom Bayis? How is lighting near Shabbos considered Shalom Bayis?
You can see what's going on. You bump into people.
You could see what's going on with the menorah.
Ain't no the Stamish bro.
Huh?
And it was just the Stamish bro.
And it's just, oh, you can't use them. All right, so we're gonna see. What about nowadays? We have electricity, anyways. All right, that will come after. What?
Okay, we do.
Does still apply?
No, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I think we touched on.
We did. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so Reish Shama Gimel Shalom Bayis. Take a look at this next Rashi. Yeah, actually, Rabbi Ocean quotes the star to say for this idea. Shalom Beiso. Bachim Lakaiman, you're gonna say later on Daf Chof Hey. Tiznach B'Shalom Nafshi, Zo Halakas near b'Shabbos. That's referring to lighting in the air on Shabbos. Yeah? Shebnei Beisam Mitzdaril Neish B'Choshech. If everything's dark, people ain't gonna be happy. They're gonna be in pain. It's not gonna be Shalom. It's not gonna be Shalom Bayis. Peace in the house. Peace in the house. Priority one. Says the Gemara, that's why near Shabbos comes first. Yeah, Taisvus over here goes into half Torahs and everything. All right. Boy Rava. Over here is the following Shaila. Ner Chanukah v'Kiddush Yomahu. So let's say good. So he's got enough money to afford the Ner Shabbos. All right. All right. Now the guy he could only purchase one, either Ner Chanukah or Kiddush. So which one comes first?
Not necessarily mean Hayom. We just mean the Friday night Kiddush. We mean I'm assuming.
Yeah, Shabbos Kiddush. We're gonna come back. We're gonna have to figure out what exactly Kiddush means. I mean, we learned tells us Kiddush, but what is Kiddush?
Oh, so it was the Kiddush Hayom.
Yeah, I know it says Kiddush Hayom. Is Kiddush meaning what is Kiddush? Yayin? Can you do Kiddush on Challah? Aren't you Yotzei Midaraisa verbally?
Verbally.
All right, so I don't want to ruin the endings, but I kind of just did. Because that's going to get sliced and diced all over the place with the Daraisa Darabanan. All right, but let's just try and learn the Gemara pretending like we don't have any of that outside knowledge. All right? So Rava comes along and he says, Ner Chanukah Kiddush Yamahu. What's the dim? Which one's better? Ner Chanukah Kiddush. Well, why would Ner Chanukah be better? Why would Kiddush be better? So the Gemara says, Kiddush Hayom Adif. Maybe I'd say Kiddush is better because Tadir. It's more common. Tadir v'sheina Tadir. Right? Man Brachos 8th parak. It's more common, so therefore it would take priority. It would take precedence. It would proceed. Oh, Dilma, maybe I'll say Ner Chanukah Adif. Mishum Peshem Nisa. Maybe the Chanukah will be better because we're publicizing the Nis. Peshem Nisa is more chashiv. Basar di Baye, after Rav asked the Shaila, Hadar Pashte, he returned and he solved it. Ner Chanukah Adif Mishum Peshem Nisa. The Ner Chanukah is better. Why? Because of Peshem Nisa. Hence, this hierarchy. Ner Shabbos, Ner Chanukah, and then Kiddush. Akam Lashoina of the Gemara. Look at this Taisus if you're interested later. He goes into half Torahs over here.
Goes into half Torahs?
Half Torahs, that's right.
What's the why half Torahs?
I ain't Shabbos.
Because the Tadir B'Shein and Tadir, we don't precede each other.
If you're interested, you look at it. Okay. Comes along the I'm sorry. Beis Yosef. Adrabah. We learn over here, a person in addition to this should be doing their own research on top of what we did and of course reviewing. I mean, this is tremendous amount of information that's being provided over here. This is undiluted and Torah, not distorted at all. Okay, comes along the Beis Yosef and says, Kol Siman Zeh Pashut Perak Ba'amalikin, yeah? V'hatam shemaktim ner Shabbos and ner Chanukah Mefarish were old news, Bishum Shalom Beis, etc. And the Beis Yosef continues and says, Ner Shabbos Shebnei Adam Mitzdayer and Leishim B'Chosh. We saw that. Tam shemaktim ner Chanukah Kiddush Mishum Peshum Menisa. Okay, good. We saw that. Now comes along the Beis Yosef and says, Afal Gav the Kiddush Hayom Deoraisa, the ner Chanukah Derabanan. Oh, what's pshat? Kiddush is Midoraisa. Ner Chanukah is Derabanan. In other words, he's asking a kash over here.
Right.
Why is Chanukah coming before Kiddush? Chanukah, Ner Chanukah, Derabanan. Derabanan over here. Right? Kiddush. Oraisa. Oraisa. What's pshat over here? Right? So we're gonna add in Persume Nisa. Persume Nisa. Kiddush is Tadir. That's right, more common. More common.
Tadir loses here.
Yeah, Tadir loses. Persume Nisa is better. So we're gonna bold Persume Nisa. Ner Shabbos, we'll actually do one of these. Make it fancier. Yeah, Shalom Bias. Just right in Hebrew. Shalom Bias. Shalom Bias. Right? So that's gonna override. So the question is, why are we forgetting about over here? Why are you forgetting about the derabanan. Ner Chanukah is derabanan, kiddush daraisa. Answers the Beis Yosef. Given the efsher l'kedusha bepas, agdume shemen b'ner Chanukah adif. So it's possible to do kiddush on challah. So if you could do kiddush on challah, therefore what?
And everybody has bread, is that
Yeah, everyone's got bread. So since you could do kiddush on challah, therefore what? The shemen for the Ner Chanukah will proceed. Because you could really be oitzim midaraisa the kiddush with challah. Let's say the Beis Yosef means whatever his intention is. Hold on, so let's add over here. Okay, pursuing Nisa. Kiddush, more common. Daraisa, but possible to do kiddush daraisa with challah. Challah. Daraisa, but possible to do kiddush daraisa with challah. Right? That's a summary. Right? So far, nothing's fancy, and there's no confusion at all. Okay. Comes along the Bach and says, wait a second. Let's say you don't have challah. So the whole reason why Kiddush comes last, even though it's Daraisa and more Tadir, is because you could do Kiddush with challah. If you don't have challah, so then this isn't Shaykh. So would Kiddush then come before Ner Chanukah? Not making you think. But the question is, the Gemara said Ner Chanukah comes first. That was Rava's answer. He said Persume Nisa comes first. Seems like it was a blanket statement. Persume Nisa comes first.
It's like it's a given that Kiddush is the Rabbanim.
Yeah. So what's the shadow here? So comes along the Bach, the Heilige Bach, the Yellow Circus. Comes along and he says, Mefarj b'Gemara Diner Shabbos Koydum L'Ner Chanukah Mishum Shalom Beso V'Ner Chanukah Koydum L'Yayin Shel Kiddush Mishum Persume Nisa. Old news, that's the Gemara, yeah?
Right.
Kosa Beis Yosef, which we already saw, Fagav the Kiddush Hayoim. Even though the Kiddush Hayoim is Daraisa, Ner Chanukah is Dirabanan. Kevan the Efsher, the Kedusha Bepas, it's possible to do Kiddush with Challah. Agdume Shemen L'Ner Chanukah Adif. Right? Comes along the back and he says, wait 1 second. Mashma. It's implied from over here that what? The Sfirole that the Beis Yosef holds the Kiddush Daraisa Hu Al Yayin Al Pas. Implied from here that the Beis Yosef holds that Kiddush is Daraisa, whether the Kiddush is being done on Yayin or Challah. Correct? All right, moving right along. Beloina here. Says the Bach on that Mashmaos. What's implied from the Beis Yosef is that the Kiddush and the Ayin or the Challah is Daraisa. Says the Bach, that's incorrect. Kiddush Daraisa Eina Elubepeh. What does that mean that Kiddush is an obligation from the Torah and that is Daraisa? That means verbally, with the mouth. With the mouth, the person says something, boom, it's a Kiddush. Below pas, below the Ayin. Get the food and beverages out of here. You don't need Challah to be Yotzi Kiddush Daraisa, nor does a person need Yayin. You don't need the wine. You don't need any of that. Yeah? Zachor es Yom HaShabbos l'kadsho. Pasuk says, remember Shabbos to sanctify it. Comes along the Bach and he's attacking the Beis Yosef. You're assuming that you need Yayin or Challah to have a full-fledged Kiddush Daraisa? What are you talking about? The Pasuk says, remember Shabbos. How do you remember it? Well, Zikaron Dvarim Kamar. Talking about verbally. You say something. See something, say something. You see Shabbos over here, say something. Chain Kasva Mordechai. That's what the Mordechai says. Perik Misha Mesa. Ubesmag Asin Kuftes. So Yotze Midaraisa, just by saying something. Hold on, that's nice omdus. Big nafkamina. How is Kiddush Daraisa? When is it not Daraisa? But how does that practically manifest itself in halacha? Oh, the answer is right over here in this case that we just said before. Lafiza accordingly. Let's say afilu ein lo yain v'lo pas. The fellow over here, he's got nada. He doesn't have yain, nor does he have kala to do kiddush on, yeah? So he doesn't have either. He's got no yain, he's got no challah. Ner Chanukah Kodim. So you know what's gonna come first? The answer is Ner Chanukah. Ner Chanukah is gonna come first. Why? The Kavan Deshneim Medivrei Seifrim, since both of them are midrabanan. What do you mean both of them? What does the Bach mean both of them?
Pas and yayin.
No.
Is that feeling yayin lo pas the kaddish of ner Chanukah came the shnei? Oh, Chanukah and the kiddush.
Right. Both of them are midrabanan. Because remember, you kiddush according to the Bach, yotze midaraisa verbally. Comes out that you don't need to, in order to get the daraisa for kiddush, to have the yayin and chal. If you don't need to have it, comes out that they're only the rabbanan. If they're only rabbanan, Nisa comes into play. Forget about tadir. It's only tadir, and Nisa overrides tadir, like the Gemara says. Right? Okay. Nisa comes. You don't have the daraisa business. But possible to do kiddush daraisa with challah.
But you're right, according to the Bach.
Hold on.
Kiddush.
Hold on. That all gets in a footnote. More common. This all goes in a footnote. It's getting too long. Daraisa, but possible to do kiddush daraisa with challah. No. According to Beis Yosef. According to Beis Yosef. However, Bach holds that what? What does Bach hold? Possible to do kiddush daraisa with challah.
No,
Bach holds possible to do kiddush daraisa verbally. Thus, therefore, challah and wine for kiddush are only a rabbinic obligation. That's a Bach. All right. Let's go back to our Bach. Remembering the nace, remembering the Pesumei Nisa. By the way, that's what the Rambam writes in Hilchos Chanukah Perek Daled Halacha Gimel. But the cost of Rabbeinu, but the Torah writes, our master writes in Siman Reish Adivov, which is the halachas of. Very good, Abdullah, which we learned. See, you learned that. Gotta know that. That was a Paxim, and that's it. The Ner Chanukah Koidim, the Yayin, that Ner Chanukah would come before the Yayin of Havdalah. But why? Why does Ner Chanukah come before Havdalah? Hold it. Havdalah. Ner Chanukah. Kiddush. Let's just put Havdalah over here for a minute. We're adding something else now. Alright. Okay. That's why we did the list. The Cheshbon, if you don't have this list, you lose track easily. Unless you got a good cup, which I don't have, so that's why I need the list. Yeah. So it says over there that what? That Ner Chanukah comes before Yayin of Havdalah. Why? Because it's possible to do Havdalah, the Efshar le'avdule b'tfilah. You could do Havdalah in Tfilah. Hold on. V'lo yikamer mishum Pesumei Nisa. You didn't say that Ner Chanukah comes before Havdalah because Pesumei Nisa adif. That to publicize the nace is better. You didn't say that. Kid the Kamar Hach, as it says over here, by Kiddush. Gabe Kiddush. Afagav da Havdalah daraisa. Even though Havdalah could be daraisa. Havdalah daraisa, but one fulfills his obligation in Shimona. That's right. Right? But you didn't mention this Pesumei Nisa business over here by Havdalah. Why not? What are we building up to? Right? So he's saying like this. What does it say in the Mechilta over here? Remember it in front of you and guard it behind you. Talking about a verbal Havdalah. Moshe Tzarech L'Kadish B'Peh. Midaraisa, similar to the Kiddush, which has to be Midaraisa as well. Aval Havdil Yain Elul Midil From here it is again the Divrei Hakol. Havdalah on wine is only Midarabanan. Daraisa, Del Daraisa, but only fulfills the but Daraisa, but one fulfills his obligation in Shemona Esrei. Raisa. Wine is thus only Dirabanan. Correct?
Yes.
All right, very good. So comes out that the yain is only derabanan. Where are we? Ein ze elo lahavdil b'peh k'mo shetzarich l'chadish b'peh midaraisa but lahavdil yain eino elam divrei soifrim. Havdalah on the yain is only midrabanan. Divrei hakol according to everyone. The law this mikiddish because it will not be better than kiddush. What does that mean? That means just like kiddush is based on what we said, only going to be derabanan because midaraisa yosi verbally. Havdalah wouldn't be any worse than that, and therefore the yayin for Havdalah would only be rabbinic. What does it mean that Torah said you could fill the obligation with Havdalah and Tefillah? What exactly does it mean? Tension is over there. The explanation is the it's possible you could fill the obligation of Havdalah just by mentioning something verbally, even without yayin. Kigon betfila, for example, in davening. Lav davka tefila kama. We're not specifically exclusively. This isn't only it's a club. It's going to be for Shemona Esrei. Elam yishum dikavu betfila. They establish it in tefila. Bala kois naka tefila, and on the kos, on the cup. Therefore, it was concluded with tefila. Klaimar meaning below kos, without a kos. So what does this mean over here? We're not specifically limiting this to tefillah. It's just the explanation is over here that they established that Havdalah should be done in tefillah. What does it mean? It means without a cup, meaning there's no wine involved over here. So based on this, now we can explain. The Ran says the Masha Kosev Shekos for Ran Rabbi Yosef. The loy midchi kiddush daraisa the efshel lekdusha alifta. When the Beis Yosef said that kiddush isn't going to get pushed off on a Torah level midaraisa because it's possible to perform kiddush on bread on challah. Lahab dafka rifta kama. Comes the Bach and says they didn't specifically and exclusively mean that the only way now to perform kiddush is on the chal. They didn't mean to exclude verbally. What they meant is the kiddush could be done midaraisa verbally without yayin at all. There's no wine in the picture. V'hu hadin beloy rifta nami. Same malach would apply in a chanami. The Beis Yosef. The Ran, they would agree that if you didn't have any challah, also you could fulfill your obligation.
What to do in this case?
Right. So why they say bread? They said because if you don't have any wine, so then you do it on challah, which is usually the case on bread. So therefore, it comes out. Let's go back to our list just to review after this Bach, which could definitely get confusing. Ner Shabbos for sure, according to everyone. The number one is Shalom Bayis. That's the most important. All the Torahs in Shalom Bayis you could add in. All the Drush, all the Garita, all the Chasidus, all the Kabbalah, Shalom Bayis. It's the best, the most important thing ever. Fine, done. Then Ner Chanukah. Why? Pursue Menisa. Even though it's their abundant. Kiddush, you would say, is more common. It should come first. No. Presuming is better. Wait a second. Kiddush is daraisa. No. Footnote 1. Daraisa, but you could do Kiddush daraisa with chal according to the Beis Yosef. However, Bach holds that it's possible. Bach holds that it is possible to do Kiddush. Say perform. To perform Kiddush daraisa verbally. Therefore, chal and wine for Kiddush are only a rabbinic obligation. Okay.
Technically,
and
if
then-
Kiddush
yeah.
would be Daraisa, it would be before Chanukah, but
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
just
And
technically.
because you know what? Slash the Tadir business, slash the Pursue Nisa. What are you left with? You're left with a Daraisa. A Daraisa and a Tadir versus a Pursue Nisa seems like would prevail. Pursue Nisa would lose out. Gemash Malan that no, it's a Darabanan and a Darabanan, and now it's a one-on-one battle. Pursue Nisa versus Tadir, in which case Pursue Nisa would prevail. And then Havdalah on the bottom is Daraisa. If you can fulfill your obligation in Shmona Esrei mid Daraisa, Shmona Esrei, or verbally, I think. Verbally, that was put in the Bach mid Daraisa. Why is this only Darabanan? Ad kan l'shoino of the Bach. Darchei Moshe says Ner Chanukah comes before Yayin of Havdalah. By the way, I don't know if Havdalah would be 4. I think it probably would. We would have to go back to Hilchos Kiddush. I think Kiddush would come before Havdalah. Remember we learned in Hilchos Kiddush, Reish Ayin Aleph, if I'm not mistaken? I think it came up there. We have to cross-reference to that sif. Yeah. Hu Hadin Ner Chanukah comes before Yayin for Havdalah. You know what? I wonder if we could do that right now. On the spot. On the spot. On the spot. What is it? Reish Ayin Aleph?
Oh, Reish Ayin Aleph is
Reish Ayin.
Kiddush.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in Kiddush. Yeah, watch this. Yeah, the old Havdalah tricks. Control F. Havdalah. Eating before Kiddush. Why is it permitted to? This is eating before. What's this? People eat before. No. What's this? What's this? If there's only a small quantity of wine, game over. Shulchan Aruch rules that someone who only has enough wine for 2 cups should use the wine for Kiddush Shabbos night and Havdalah. Mishnah Berurah argues and paskins that he should use both cups for Kiddush, and that's in bold. Use both cups for Kiddush. Game over. Kiddush comes first. By the way, there's Simon Reish Ayin Aleph Sif Yud Aleph. Ayin Sham in the Mishnah Berurah. If a shul only has enough wine for 1 cup, it should be used for Havdalah, not Kiddush on Shabbos night. This obviously only applies if the shul is accustomed to say Kiddush on Shabbos night and say Havdalah. Fine, that's in a shul. But in a house, it seems like Kiddush would
Both cups
prevail.
means what, for night and day?
Correct. So that seems like the Mishnah
What's the
Berurah.
why?
Which why?
In other words, Kiddush wins Havdalah because
Yeah, it's Kiddush. It's more important. It's
Tziyaso is more important than Knesset is more important than Tziyaso.
Is it explained over here? According to you
Forgot.
have to look over there for the
Look
lumdis.
over there, yeah.
I didn't write the lumdis. We didn't write it over here. I mean, this is 44 pages. This is just Kiddush. Right? It's all Kiddush. 100% Kiddush over here. Pogum. Miscellaneous. Talking. Kopanim. So all right, still got it. All right, so that's the Bach. That's the Bach. Comes along the Shulchan Aruch. We're going straight in over here. We're not playing around here. Chaber writes, Mishin Yodam Asegis look nice. Near Chanukah and near Shabbos. Yikin and near Shabbos, June Shalom Base, old news. Bimyeshul Shal Shabbos, Vein Lo, near the Chanukah, Liayan, Kiddush Hayoim, Yikin near Chanukah, Bamishun Persimonisa, old news. Vuhu Adin, near Chanukah Koidim, Liayan Havdalah, old news. Already saw all that. Nothing to talk about. There's no Kiddush there. You learn the Torah, you learn the Beis Yosef, you learn the Bach, you learn the Gemara. You're not going to get it. It's all there. Comes along, we're going to go out of order. We're going to do the Magen Avraham first before the Taz. Just going to go straight through these Magen Avraham, see what's cooking in here. What?
Normally you do the Taz first because Taz came before the Magen.
Yeah, they said, remember, Naftali White uses it. Yeah, it seems like the Taz came first. You do the Taz first. The Taz is going more in the Torah a lot of times. My minhag is I do whatever smaller. Then I feel accomplished. Actually, Rabbi Yeshua Cohen, he writes in his Sefer Kerem Yeshua, used to call him Shas Cohen. They say he was able to pass the pin test, where you take a pin, stick it in the Gemara, and he'll tell you every single word that it goes through on all of the daf and the Masechta, even the Gemaras that over 100 plot. Every single letter, he'll tell you what the pin just went through. That's how well he knew Shas Cohen. So What does that have to do with this? What did we just say? Oh yeah, so the smallest. So he comes along and he says, look, if a person has the option to learn, let's say, 50 blot of a Masechta, that's a half of that's 100 blots, so he'll learn half of the Masechta. For a Masechta that's like 38 half, let's say, but he'll learn the whole Masechta. He says better learn the whole Masechta. Because he says the pshat is when a person has a shleimus, a completion in a certain area of Torah, that's very valuable and very special. When a person knows that he learned it properly and he did a proper chazar and retains the information, that's when the Torah is what Rabbi Elshon refers to nivla bedamo. That's when the Torah becomes a part of a person, right? So, in other words, that's the real way to learn. Look, if people are being koveitim, they're going to, let's say, daf yomi, shir lamashal, beautiful. They're doing that, it's better than nothing. But lamaisa, if only 2% of the information is getting retained in a week from that time, come on. Versus if a person's sitting on a sugya, learning it, remembering it, it becomes part of him, he starts changing the way that he acts. That already, that's a much higher level, much higher level. So that's something to think about. Anyways, so yeah. That's the Indian over here. Okay. The im yesh lo ner. Im yesh lo ner echad the beso. Right. Oh. Yeah. All right. We're talking over here about a list. We said ner Shabbos comes first. Ner Chanukah, Kiddush, Avdallah. We have a whole list over here. These a little vague. How many? What are we talking about? What's the quantity? When we say ner Shabbos comes first. So we're gonna go with the minhag, let's say Ashkenaz, that you add another ner for every single kid in the family. That's what it means. So we're talking got a family of 10, so now you're gonna get 12. Or are we talking about 2? Are we talking about 1 ner?
And in Chanukah, we're talking about Mahadran.
Well, so Chanukah, what are we handling over here? We're talking about 1 ner. We're talking about Mahadran. Talking about multiple ners. What are we handling over here? We never specified that. So you got to figure that out. So comes along the Magen Avram, and he says, "V'im yesh lo ner echad, lebeso sagi." Person's got 1 ner for his house, so then it's good. Talking 1 ner. Yikach hamoiser l'ner Chanukah. The rest of it you use for ner Chanukah. So when we say ner Shabbos comes first, we're talking 1 candle. Right? Fine.
So that's going on Shabbos. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Take a look at Gimel in the Magen Avram. We're going to skip Beis momentarily. Yikneinu l'ner Chanukah hainen ner echad. That mostly I am Kiddush. I know everyone was thinking that.
So you got to do the
Same thing with Chanukah. You do the bare minimum. Right? Person could have 20 people in the house. Could be the 8th night of Chanukah. We hold like Hillel. You light 8 candles in. You light 1 ner. Everyone fulfills their obligation. That's all you need. Make your din. That's it. Comes along the Magen Avram and knows base. Shalom base. So what does that mean? Shemitztarin leisha b'choshech. Yeah, we saw the old nose. Man has there hold it shemadlikim b'fnim. Nowadays, we're not lighting outside. Yeah, Chanukah, we're lighting inside. So wait a second. Without even coming onto electricity.
So
If we're lighting outside, no, where's the Pesuminisa? Yeah, fine. The Pesuminisa maybe is a little different. Okay, fine. So it's more b'fnim than in b'cho. It's fine. But we could technically use the ner. Chanukah, it's davar she'eino miskaven. Maybe you could use it. Hold it. Let's see what he's saying. Ve'efshar de bezman hazeh shemadlikim b'fnim yikna ner Chanukah ve'afal pikein lo yeshiv b'choshech. You're not sitting in darkness. You're getting the light from the ner Chanukah. Maybe ner Chanukah should come first, because you're really indirectly be getting the shalom bayis business simultaneously. Oh, comes among them around ve'afal pisha also lechaloy. Or even though you can't use the or you can't use the ner. English Tamish like we said. Mikol makom. There's no other way over here. It's like a dangerous time. In which case, the Gemara says, "Just put it on the table, and then that's good. That's enough." Even though unwillingly you're going to be using it, much goes around like the Ran says. So maybe it'll be permissible. Okay, so to over here, same thing during the week if you only have 1 ner. In other words, what we're saying over here is Magen Avram saying, wait a second. Maybe reverse the order. Nowadays.
Yeah, Chanukah, you come from their Shabbos.
Yeah. Hold it. Footnote. according to Magen Avraham, Ner Chanukah would precede nowadays that we light Ner Chanukah inside, since one will get light from Ner Chanukah. I'm not gonna add in, even though you're not supposed to get light from it, still you're gonna get light. So the Magen Avraham just threw a monkey wrench in the whole sugi over here and said this whole Gemara might not apply nowadays.
But now back in Eretz Yisrael, it would apply.
So yeah, maybe now it would. So we're gonna have to see as we continue next time. It's Hashem. See what the Mishnah Berurah comes out with. See what we come out with, because this sugi is getting interesting. In the meantime, if anyone needs money for Ner Shabbos and Ner Chanukah, call me up. I'm happy to take care of it. All right. All right. Everyone should have a wonderful day, wonderful Shabbos. Yeah.
I saw a menorah for candles, like 3 for $1.
Yeah.
And then there's a tin menorah, I think is it like $1? I was just thinking about, like, hopefully someone's able to afford it. But
Right. 100%. Yeah.
you can get it for
Nowadays, it's so mass produced. It's so cheap. I mean, you could get a new. They even come with menorahs for the price of much.
yeah. This is 90. It was less. I think it was for both of them was less than $1.
Yeah.
Because the tin menorah, the tin menorah.
Yeah.
It was candles, but
Yeah.
anyways, all right.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Good
Oh,
job.
good Shabbos.
Yeah,
Good
good job.
Shabbos.